Queen Anne's War. Major engagements. Southern Theater, Florida and Carolina. Florida. Siege of St. Augustine, November 17, 02. Governor James Moore of South Carolina led a naval and land force to capture the Spanish capital of Florida. They captured and burned the town, but could not take the formidable Castillo de San Marcos. Combatants. English colonial forces and their allies against Spanish colonial forces and their allies. Outcome: Spanish victory. The English failed to capture the fort and withdrew. Florida. Apalachee Massacre, January to July 1704. A devastating campaign by Moore's forces into the Florida Panhandle, destroying the chain of Spanish missions and killing or capturing thousands of Apalachee, effectively ending Spanish influence in the region. Combatants. English colonial forces and their allies against Spanish missions and Apalachee people. Outcome: decisive English Creek victory. Florida. Battle of Ayubale, January 1704. The key engagement of the Apalachee campaign. A fierce, day-long battle at the mission of Ayubale where a Spanish Apalachee relief force was defeated. Combatants. English colonial forces and their allies against Spanish and Apalachee loyalist forces. Outcome: English Creek victory. Florida. Siege of Pensacola, August 1707. An English-led force attacked the Spanish settlement at Pensacola, capturing the fort before being driven out by a French naval relief force from Mobile. Combatants. English colonial forces and their allies against Spanish garrison of Pensacola. Outcome: French-Spanish victory. Northern Theater, New England and Acadia. Massachusetts. Raid on Deerfield, February 29, 1704. A brutal winter raid on the frontier settlement. 56 settlers were killed and 109 were taken captive on a long, brutal march to Canada. Combatants. Deerfield settlers against French and Native American forces. Outcome: decisive French and Allied victory. Massachusetts. Raid on Haverhill, August 29, 1708. A major French and Indian raid that killed 16 and captured 15 to 30 settlers before the town's militia could rally and drive them off. Combatants. Haverhill settlers and militia against French and Native American forces. Outcome: French Abenaki victory, tactical. Nova Scotia, Canada. Siege of Port Royal, October 1710. A large British colonial expedition, supported by the Royal Navy, successfully besieged the French capital of Acadia. Combatants. British and colonial forces against French garrison of Port Royal. Outcome: decisive British victory. The fort was captured and renamed Annapolis Royal in honor of Queen Anne. This was the war's most significant permanent territorial change. Massachusetts and Quebec, Canada. The Quebec Expedition, August 1711. A massive British invasion force of 15,000 troops and 60 ships sailed to capture Quebec, the heart of New France. The expedition was a catastrophic failure before a shot was fired. Several ships wrecked in poor weather on the St. Lawrence River, and the commander, Admiral Hovenden Walker, abandoned the mission. Combatants. British and colonial invasion force against French colonial defenders. Outcome: decisive French victory, without battle.